welcome everybody. And this is all Odin's fault for showing us the purple cover of the book, and we couldn't resist it. So now we are playing. Um, and I have a sheet here of all sorts of rules, and it still is mostly notes. So it's not, and adapting it to each character is going to require more familiarity with your character sheets. So tonight we may make some rules mistakes, but I hope we don't make too many. But we will. I will forgive myself, if you will. Um, and also, we're going to meet our characters. The first question that was already asked a few minutes ago was: we know we are in the year 2011, but what time of year is it? And I am going to say that it is November 2 of 2011. And I am also going to say that, or to remind everyone, that this is, of course, in and around All Hallows Eve. And 10 years ago, Halloween was not very well known in Sweden compared to right now. So All Hallows Eve was more important culturally. And that as a native of California, I am extremely familiar with the Mexican holiday, the Day of the Dead, which is November 2. So we begin. If we were to go all the way around the world, we would be beginning on the Day of the Dead. So here, I would like to examine the circumstances of each of you arising from your vampiric slumber. I apologize to everyone here for the English language and its extensive usage in these rules. So, awakening from slumber. And so, I am curious as to where, for example, Ansa actually. Now, this is on a day slash night like any other night. So there is nothing special. You did not fall asleep in stressful circumstances. You were where you wanted to be. So when you arise, where are we?
Why do I have to start? Because yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, okay. Well, I I believe I have some kind of house, or I don't know, like, or are we planning to, like, have some kind of, like, I don't know, communal living in
No,
some
I don't think your vampires have a dormitory. But
Okay,
I
no,
do
no,
want to know,
it would be an option.
do you have the merit of haven or anything like that? A safe place? You
Yeah.
do.
I have I think it was 2 dots
Oh well, absolutely.
in safe place.
Then you
Yeah.
do have a house. I will double
Yeah.
check 2 dots sooner or later, but it is some kind of a private place where you don't have to worry
Yeah.
about it.
Not
It's
like
at
a
least as
fortress, but
good, yeah, at least as good as a person has if they own property or rent it. So they can say my home. What is
yeah,
this
and I have
place?
also resources, so
Ah,
yeah.
excellent. So in that case, in that context, you must be telling us about a pretty nice place to live that would not confuse or surprise an ordinary human. So what is it?
I don't know, like I want to go with a house in some basic, like suburban area. Nothing standing out there. Yeah, although not like a super big house. Like I don't want any like 10 rooms or
Right,
anything. So
right.
just like a decent size.
Excellent. So with a
Um,
suburb, that means that there are other houses in the neighborhood,
yeah,
and you actually probably have an address with letters and things like that. So now we have my other question is the suburbs of Malmö,
Yeah, yeah.
Köpenhamn, or okay,
Malmö
Malmö.
is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also realized that I left out an important city of the little area I was thinking about, which is Helsingborg. And in fact, I may focus more on Helsingborg than on Göteborg.
Yeah,
So,
Malmö is fine. It's a bit
yeah.
like, I mean, it's pretty big.
Oh, no, it's
And
perfect.
stuff. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
if we have Helsingborg, Copenhagen, Köpenhamn, sorry, and Malmo, we have that whole little sea to ourselves. And that's what I like. In that case, then, Ola, where does Ada awaken and arise?
I, I think he awaken arise in the cellar of ABF, and ABF is Arbetarnas Bildningsförbund.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
That means it's and it's like he probably have bribed or paid someone, a janitor, to let him stay there. And it's so I have Hayden, but I only have one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So,
So
in other words, it is certainly functional. You are not,
it's not,
you are not, for example, sleeping in a dumpster, which was
no,
closest when the sun came up. Okay.
no,
Excellent.
I'm not. So
Mhm.
I have a key, and
Right.
I
Right.
so well, the first thing I do is like turn off the alarm probably.
Right.
So,
Right. Excellent.
and then yeah. So
So, if we were to look at Ansa, what person? I mean, what would she look like? What then do we see as a person?
Yeah. Early 20s, like a pretty short woman, like fairly dark hair, but white skin and light green eyes.
As a
Yeah,
as a
I don't know.
Nosferatu,
Probably looking dead.
yeah, as a Nosferatu as well. Even if you don't have like literally like monstrous features, like half your mouth, mutated open with huge fangs there, or something like that, or some kind of horrific drooping skin or something. Even if you don't have that, you're still super creepy. You still give off a special wave of I am going to follow you home and eat your feet. That kind of
one note.
right? Yeah, Odin.
Awakeness only activates when you reach humanity 6.
I know. I am not talking about the Bane. I am just talking about being a Nosferatu and how fun it is to talk about it. But I agree.
Yeah.
You would actually get penalties for this when and if you reach humanity 6 from 7. Okay. I should also point out one or two things about humanity when we get to the proper people for this. So, Ola, what does Eda look like?
I guess it's Turkish, so it's pronounced Ejder.
Oh, Ejdesh. Okay, that's right. I thought it was in Swedish. It actually would be Eda, and I was wondering, is that really a name in Swedish? Because that's cool, but I guess not. Okay.
No, so it's what he looks like. He's very very tall and man in his like he looks like 20, between 20 and 25, quite young, bit of a baby face. But he's like almost 2 meters, and he's like massive in his composure. He's
right.
Like
right.
I mean, not extremely fat, but because he's 2 meters long, he has also
but he's nice and round. Right.
Yeah, it's nice and round, and it's like a bit of like what do you call this? A bit of hits. in Swedish we said lufs, and that is probably not well translated, but it's
Okay.
like
Well, that is excellent. I will learn
moping
that word.
around.
Okay,
He has
so
this big hoodie covering his head, and probably, I mean, quite like relaxed, youthful clothes.
right. Okay, so with that in mind, both of you are currently at Vitae 9. You are able to have up to 10 Vitae, but upon arising, you will lose 1 point. So that is and you will not, that does not heal or refresh. There is only one way to get your Vitae back. Well, let's see. Let's go ahead to Nora. So when Nora arises, what sort of building or sorry, my mistake. Back to Ejdesh. Ola, what city is it in? Or
Same
area?
Malmö. I can give you the exact address if you want to.
Where?
But it's Ronnebygatan 2
In
in
Malmö?
Malmö.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
in the center of Malmö.
Ah. Perfect. Okay. I see. Now, sorry. Odin, I do want to ask about Nora and whether she is in Denmark or Sweden and what community and what does it look like? What sort of building, what sort of area when she, or you could use the option that you told me already that she has been moving and walking during the day and is now it's just nighttime. That's all.
Yeah, because well, it's better you can spend those hours than like sleeping half the time, even if you can have. So
I'm saying that
yeah,
you have the
probably
option to manage that particular power the way you want because you mentioned it earlier. So tell me what is she doing right this minute? Is she opening her eyes from slumber or is she doing something else? What tell me. Odin, do you want me to come back to you after talking to Nathan?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right. So Nathan, we're talking now about Hans, and we have the same question as I'm asking everybody. It is sometime around 19, I guess, 19 o'clock roughly. So tell me, where is Hans and how is he arising?
So Hans is in a back room of his small office building. You can see that the building itself is not really new, but not too shabby. But you can hear a lot of people moving around, so it's not really safe. I mean, it's locked, but it's like push the door a little bit too with a bit of force, and it's going to crack, and you can
Right.
enter.
So it's not entirely secure, but something
not.
unusual would have to happen to
Yes.
be a problem. Okay.
Yes.
And this is not an unusual day, so that is okay.
Yeah.
Now, bearing in mind as well that as a character with your blood potency, that there are some of the rules are just a little bit more intense for you, in terms of both your powers and in terms of your vulnerability. I believe, I should have written this down. I was going to. You require just a little bit better blood than the others, right? So they can feed, for example, on hospital blood or a rat.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. They're both nobody likes it. No vampire likes them, but they can do it and still survive. You're a little, your blood is a little more vampiric, and you're kind of like, that's not going to work. to feed on an inferior form of blood requires a point of willpower, just to let you know that. Okay, remember your big pools are humanity, willpower, and vitae. Those are what drop. Okay, if your vitae goes to 0, and right now you are all at 9, if your vitae goes to 0, you drop. Actually, I think for Nathan it's a little bit higher, but he has a little bit more to start, and I will look that up in a moment. But the point is that you are all at -1. If it goes to 0, you will fall over like on your face into torpor, which is sleep that is serious sleep for a vampire. That's like basically suspended animation, not just the daily slumber. And then if your willpower goes to 0, you may go into torpor, the same. Now, humanity 0, you actually can't play anymore. Your character is out of the story as a protagonist. You are just not eligible as a player character anymore. But if your touchstones go to 0, then you risk going into torpor as well. Touchstones are the people. All right. So that's Hans in his office building. Now, is that in which city? Do you want it to be Helsingborg or Copenhagen or Malmö?
Copenhagen.
Okay.
It's a bit better for business.
As he spells the name of the city properly.
Did I?
Okay. So now,